Hey guys, welcome back. So today, like I said last episode, I'm going to be working more on my new end project. Last time we built that enderman farm that you can see in the back, which is super inefficient at the moment, but I promise we will get it there. And this time I want to get started on doing some more of the design work. But before that, I thought it might be a good idea to talk around and talk through some of my ideas. Please bear in mind, these might change over time. I don't have everything built out or anything. This is just like my current vision for where I'm going. So first, I built my enderman farm, right? So I was thinking I need something to hide it because it doesn't look ideal. And then I thought, well, the end is kind of like space because it's all voidy. I thought, all right, so how about this end island is like an alien planet? And so maybe like a giant alien-y mushroom or something, because it would go up in the middle and it would go up fairly straight and then have this sort of circular shape to it. So I started mocking that up in creative, and I actually remembered to record a little bit of the process so you can see how I worked out how I wanted it to look. As I've probably said, the main idea is to build like a weird looking mushroom type thing. And obviously this is way bigger than anything I've ever attempted before, so I'm building it first in creative so I can try and work out shapes and things like that, because otherwise I will definitely go insane. So I start off with the basics. This circle in the basalt is where the enderman farm will actually be. This is the center of that circle. This is the center of the entire project. I wanted to make sure that everything sort of fit the way I wanted it to. So the drop obviously needed to be like 43 tall or whatever it is that you drop enderman, and that's going to be the stem. But I also wanted to make sure that everything looked in proportion, so I ended up needing to make the mushroom head quite a lot bigger than the actual farm, because otherwise it would have ended up not great. It's also slightly off center because of where I want the enderman to fall. I've had a little bit of a play around. You can see I've sort of built about a quarter of this and I've framed out the other sides. And I just sort of framed out, tried to see what sort of shape I'm working with, and I think this is going to work. It's kind of hard to tell at this point, but this is what I'm sort of working with, and I've just started trying to work out some texturing. I know I want these sort of like droplet bits, and I think I want to use the different variants of copper to create these sort of splotches, patches, and I think they'll be cool if they're used in the drop downs, but I'm not 100% convinced with how this is going. I really wish I could make this area like 3D, but it just doesn't really work. At the moment, I'm kind of working with making this flat and then using these as like the 3D bits, but I'm not super sold on it, but it's sort of where I currently am. I might be able to make some of the splotches up here a little bit more 3D because I'll be using a more downwards horizontal surface where obviously slabs and stairs do actually do a job, but I don't know. You can also see I've tried to have a go at texturing the stem here. I really wanted to make sure that the top looked super shaded and it gets white as you go further down. It looks a little bit messy when you look at it like this, but if you go right up to it at the bottom and then you look up, I think it's actually quite an effective gradient to look like it's in shadow, and then right at the top will be really dark and black. I'm also toying with the idea of having the bottom of this have this like curved inwards effect. I think I like how it's going, but it's not quite there yet. As you can see, we're quite a bit further along the process now. It's still only like half built, but I think it's starting to take shape a bit more now. You can see I ended up keeping these like little patches, and I found that as soon as the mushroom starts to like curve upwards, I can make the patches a lot more 3D, and I really like how it looks. They kind of feel like they're breaking through the surface of the mushroom, which I'm really liking. I'm also really trying to break up these lines of stairs and slabs by sort of moving them up and down. You can see here I've moved this stair down a bit, I turned this into a block, I moved this stair. I sort of just tried to make it a little less uniform and a bit more organic. I think I do need to do some more with this, but I think it's definitely improved from where it was at previously. I also filled in the whole platform with black concrete, so now I can really start looking at this bottom section and how I want that to work. I think I'm going to try going with mostly white and then having these like lines of blue, almost like veins, I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, but I think that's what I'm going to experiment with next. You'll have to wait and see the final product when I build it later today. But in terms of my thought process, we now have this giant alien mushroom, which I'm going to be building in the middle of the island, and it's surrounded by all the 20 gateways that you get by killing the dragon, which I unlocked I don't know, maybe a year ago or something. I unlocked them all a while ago. So I then started thinking, well, why is this all here? Why do we have the gateways? Why do they lead here? Why is this mushroom here? And I thought, okay, everything's leading to this one point, so how about it's kind of like an intergalactic, interdimensional hub where all the different planets and people sort of meet in one place. And so that's kind of where I'm going with it for now. I have a bunch of ideas about how the island is going to turn out, but for now, I think that's enough explanation, and it's time to just actually get into the episode. So before I can start today's main build, I need to get some stuff together. First, I need a lot of copper, and I mean a lot of copper. It's one of the main components in my build, so I need 19 stacks of blocks, which I then need to turn into the cut blocks. I got really lucky when mining and managed to find a copper vein, which made things a lot easier. The water was a bit of a nuisance, but it was still so much faster than just strip mining and hoping. And I also found this really cool cave when I was digging around. I just love the lava falls and how there's these floating bits over there. It just looks really cool. I might have to do something here in the future. Anyway, I got home, fortuned up my copper by building a huge tower, got it all smelted, and laid it out for oxidizing. I don't really have a great place to do this, so I just put them on top of my dark oak forest, and that seemed to work well enough. And while that was oxidizing, I went off and gathered the rest of my materials. And now I think I have everything I need. Yeah, you can see the amount of copper that I needed. I wasn't lying. I needed 3 shulker boxes of the copper. Anyway, I think I've got everything I need now. It's all of these, they're pretty much entirely full. And yeah, this took a really long time to gather everything together, and it's probably going to take a very long time for me to build this. Luckily for you, it won't take anywhere near as long to watch as it will to build it, so let's get straight into this. And here it is. I did record building the underside, but when I tried to edit it, it was just so hard because of the stem in the middle, and I just couldn't get it to look right, but just look at it. Like I said, I've been working on the design for this for quite a while now, and actually building it took so many more hours than I thought it would, but it's actually done, and I really like it. Like with the farm, I'm not going to know it's 100% spawn-proof and not interfering with the farm itself until I spawn-proof the rest of the island, but for now, I think it's done, and I really like how it fits in around here. And if you're wondering how on earth you're meant to get into the farm itself, well, yeah, powdered snow is very useful sometimes. As for remembering which side of the stem has the powdered snow, well, I'm gonna have to save that for next time. I originally wanted to do that bit of design in today's episode, but this build really did take a lot longer than I thought it would, so we're already over time for today. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!